So glad you're here. So in this video, it's going to be like a little mini masterclass of how to overcome imposter syndrome based on a proprietary 4-system course and system that I created using neurological reprogramming and psychology. So again, this is a mini version of the full course, but there is an offer below if you do want to take the full course. So in this video and in the full course, it is very concise. I respect your time, so I make all of my courses, any videos, anything that I do as concise as possible to get you results as soon as possible, because that's why you're here. So you're probably here because you are struggling with imposter syndrome or some of the symptoms associated with imposter syndrome, like perfectionism, paralysis, procrastination, feeling like a fraud, that anxiety about everything, especially work-related things or anything that's important to you, that self-doubt and judgment. If that is you, you're in the right place. We are going to help you break through these things. By the way, I'm Lauren. I've been a therapist, integrative health coach, and executive coach for over 15 years now. And I have been helping a lot of people, some of which are some of the most successful, accomplished people, celebrities and CEOs, overcome imposter syndrome for a long time now. And I've struggled with it myself. So over this period of time, I developed a proprietary 4-part system. My full course is called Imposter No More, where I help people overcome all of the symptoms associated with imposter syndrome and really finally permanently break through to have that baseline state of peace and confidence, so you're not constantly like struggling against this. And I do this by showing you how to reprogram your nervous system, your subconscious and conscious mind using neurological reprogramming techniques, CBT, and other psychology-based tools. I struggled with procrastination, perfectionism, and then I would get so mad at myself for letting it stifle me. My inner critic was very loud, and we'll talk more about exactly what that is, because you are not your inner critic, but sometimes it takes over, and that is what's stifling you. And it's not only stifling you in your work-related environment, it's stifling you in your health, wealth, relationships, and career. It was definitely doing that to me, and I was done. I could not take it anymore. And where I really hit rock bottom and decided I have to do something about this was my first job out of grad school, and it was competitive. I had imposter syndrome. It was roaring, and I was just like feeling like I was going to get found out. I felt like I didn't belong, and it was causing so much anxiety. And one of my clients would not fill out his forms, and I thought that he was messing with me. I thought he was going to tell my boss on me. My head went off on all of these stories, and I was going back and forth with him like, you have to fill out the forms. And I was dealing with people that just got out of federal prison, so I'm like, is he intimidating me? Is this a joke? And then he finally closed the door to my office and he's like, Miss Lauren, I can't read. And then I just realized how out of control my imposter syndrome was. I was thinking that I was going to get in trouble or that I was ineffective in some way. And this man was just trying to tell me, and he's 30 and he couldn't read. He never learned how to read. He was a drug dealer his whole life. So I bring this to my therapist. I tell her about all my symptoms, and she said, I have imposter syndrome. And I was surprised to hear this. I had never heard this term before, and I didn't know it was so common, because you feel so isolated. You feel like you're the only one that has it, or what we call terminally unique sometimes. And come to find out, some of the most successful people, industry leaders, CEOs, famous people have this. Sheryl Sandberg is very open about her imposter syndrome, Howard Schultz, Meryl Streep, Neil Armstrong, and apparently most Ivy League freshman students have it as well. So that was very interesting to learn, but I wasn't relieved. My anxiety and self-doubt still intensified, and like most people that have imposter syndrome, with every career success or achievement, the symptoms of imposter syndrome were exacerbated, which is really counterintuitive, because you think it would ameliorate and get better with more accomplishments, but it got worse. And my therapist at the time didn't provide any real solutions for me, because it can't be solved and overcome on a logical level. It's in your nervous system, so you need to understand how to rewire your brain on a neurological level. And experienced imposter syndrome could come up at any time, anything that's important to you. Giving a speech, taking on a new role at work, being in a new relationship, something changing in your personal life, like becoming a parent or getting married. But you can permanently overcome it by understanding how to rewire your brain and even use that energy to your advantage. Remember, energy can't be created or destroyed, but it can be transmuted. And that is, we transmute it by creating new neural pathways in your nervous system instead of letting it take over your psyche and nervous system. Okay, let's jump into it. Like I said, I respect your time. I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on my level of expertise and where it comes from and where this 4-part system came from and why it's important for the neuroscience to be involved if we really want to overcome imposter syndrome for good. In the system, there are 4 main phases. The first phase is openness and owning it. The second is to personify it, which uses CBT techniques and NLP techniques, which is neurological linguistic programming techniques, which I'll explain more. The full course really explains it a lot. Awareness is the third step. So when we expand our awareness and become conscious of things that we were unconscious of, it can heal a lot immediately, very quickly. And the fourth phase is how to fully integrate all of this so you can stay consistent and it's now your new baseline state, how to maintain unwavering confidence and focus, and how to get what you want in every area of your life. The first part is having openness and owning it. So if you're having these symptoms, it's simply saying and acknowledging that yes, these are here. When this event comes up, I have this reaction to it. My nervous system goes off in this way, and writing them all down and really just acknowledging them, airing them out. Owning it. This is where it's really important to embody a new student mentality and just be open to learning things that you haven't learned before. Also, by owning it, you're not burying it, because what you bury alive. So we're letting all of this come to the surface so we can energetically and neurologically metabolize it. Because logically, most people know that they have the training, they have the expertise, they did get hired for a certain reason, but this other part of their brain, this inner critic that's in their nervous system that is taking over, will not let them believe that. So taking a moment and acknowledging, hey, I don't feel great right now, I'm letting something else take over, is an important first step. Which leads to phase 2, module 2. And this is my favorite module, and I think one of the most important, because you learn CBT, cognitive behavioral techniques, and NLP techniques, which is neurological linguistic programming techniques. So you learn how to think differently and rewire your brain on a really fundamental level, so that you can discontinue identifying as someone who has imposter syndrome and feels the self-doubt and lacks confidence. So you can completely discontinue identifying as someone that has imposter syndrome, feels the self-doubt, or lacks confidence and feels like a fraud. The very first thing that you have to do is stop identifying with what you don't want, no matter what it is. That is the first thing I always have my clients do, is disentangle that, because whatever you say in your mind, like I am this, your nervous system will respond to that. So in this phase, we go through a lot of techniques to stop identifying with the imposter syndrome and personify it, so it is outside of ourselves. So when we feel that coming in, like, okay, here's that reaction I have, and I'm feeling this way because this is important to me, this speech or this situation, and these symptoms are coming up, you personify it as someone outside of you, and then it's easier to manage. And I go into how to manage this, how to initially do the personification, which is actually really fun. So it's very fun and informative, and so it's one of the most useful tools you'll learn, and you could carry it into any situation in any area of your life. It's very, very helpful once you get these techniques down and then they're just integrated into a part of your daily life. Module 3 is all about awareness. I call it ample awareness because that helps you continue to regulate your nervous system, neutralize the symptoms of imposter syndrome or any feeling that you don't want that takes you out of a peaceful state into a dysregulated one. I teach you how to stay there by expanding your awareness. And when we do this, our relationships in every area of our life get better. Your relationship with yourself certainly does. Work associates, with your family, in your romantic relationships, they all get better, because when you have an expanded awareness of yourself, you don't project some of our unwanted feelings. A lot of times unconsciously, we're not doing it consciously, but a lot of our feelings in the form of grumpiness or disassociating or any kind of dissociative behavior, we stop doing that because we have an awareness. There's a ton of research and scientific proof that shows that the quality of our health and our mental health is in direct correlation with the quality of our relationship. So if we could work on ourselves internally, that extends out externally. This section really anchors that in, and by expanding your awareness, helps your psychological, mental, and emotional health improve. In Module 4, you'll learn the science behind the how to fully integrate these things. And a lot of that is about repetition. So we have to constantly repeat these things until they become integrated. Because remember, you're rewiring your nervous system, you're creating new neural pathways. And the best way to do that is through repetition. And you could do that throughout the day all the time. I also go over brainwave states. And the brainwave states you want to be in to produce the fastest results are either an alpha brainwave state or a theta brainwave state, especially the theta brainwave state. So that is the state where you're relaxed. It happens a lot when you're watching TV and you really feel like whatever you're watching is real. You can feel yourself getting emotionally invested even though you know it's not real. A lot of people manifest from this state because your brain's ability to receive suggestions is very open at the time. So when I show you how to bring yourself into a theta state in this module, you'll learn how to maintain that unwavering confidence. That's where that comes from. And that ability to focus. Sometimes our ability, our lack of ability to focus isn't from ADD. It's these imposter syndrome symptoms that are really kicking in. But if you can bring yourself into a theta brainwave state, even if you have ADD, it'll really calm down a lot of those symptoms too and help you to really laser focused and get things done. So guess what melts away? The procrastination, the paralysis, and the perfectionism. And perfectionism is a sneaky form of paralysis. So getting their brain in the theta brainwave state is going to make a lot of that dissipate, which I am really excited to show you. And the other how we go over, which is very important for me to show my clients, is how to get what you want in every area of your life. You're here to thrive. You're not just here to survive. So yes, I'm definitely going to help you get over your imposter syndrome symptoms and really overcome imposter syndrome. But from there, we don't stop. We're going to thrive in every area of your life. So, and everything's interconnected anyway. Your health, wealth, relationships, career, and whatever spiritual, and I don't mean religious, I just mean whatever like spiritual life that you have. All of those things are integrated and working together on your behalf. And the last how is, how can I be of service? And when we have this nice foundation from ourselves, we can give from a place of overflow, which feels really good. So you've overcome your imposter syndrome and your tank is really full and you have a lot to give. And that just increases the unwavering confidence and sense of calm, peaceful energy that you've now created for yourself. So we're not going to go into a lot of detail here, but in the full course, we do go over understanding your calling or knowing your calling. So if you don't know at all what your calling is, I go over step by step how to discover that. And if you are aware of your calling, it's about stepping into that further. So it's like, okay, well, I like doing this and I have plans and I want to expand in this way. We go over how to get there and how to expand whatever it is that you're creating or whatever your goals are in every area of your life, but particularly around career. In the full course, I've also given you some bonus material, including the 5 questions technique, breathing techniques, a lot of breathing techniques. Breathing is so important because it regulates your nervous system. You have to do it anyway, so it's probably a good idea to do it correctly, and it's free. And it does, once you learn how to use the techniques and use them well and use them properly, it works so much better than any medication or any other outside intervention that you could do. I'm a big fan of learning breathing techniques. And there's some meditations in there and other neurological reprogramming techniques I'm excited to share with you. And the full course is self-paced, but as I said before, I made it as concise as possible for you, as I do with all my courses, because I know you're busy, I respect your time, and I know you want results. So if you do a module a week with this course, you'll be done in around a month and feeling so much better. And you'll definitely see results, and you'll continue to see those results amplify as those new neural pathways get stronger and stronger, and you won't even have to do much from there, but just keep participating in your own journey by remembering to do the techniques that we go over again and again. But you can reach out to me if you need any kind of assistance or reminders or anything like that. I'm here for you. But I promise you, by the time you get done with this course, it's going to feel like second nature. So thank you for watching this video, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. The best way and the fastest way to get a hold of me is to DM me on Instagram. My handle is Mental Health Hacker. And as a thank you for watching this video, I'm offering you a special discounted price. The normal price of this course is about triple the amount. So for this time, I'm offering a discounted price. All right, I'll see you in there. And as with all my courses, if you're taking the course and have any questions, please reach out to me. I make myself very available to my course students because I want you to have amazing results. I am very excited for you, and I will see you soon.